Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back, of course, to more esports talk, and the drama does continue for the Call of Duty scene. For another time, though, a video about this. I think the drama is well needed. Now, that drama does continue, though, for a now Dallas Empire member, that being Crimsix, alongside his friendship with Scump. We have really no idea where this is going. If you guys missed this, he actually took to Reddit for an AMA, or a questionnaire, over this past weekend, and a Hacks interview, and revealed multiple things about the OpTic situation, the disbandment over there of that roster, his kicking, and his friendship with Scump, which apparently just it isn't there anymore. He actually took to this Reddit AMA and the Hacks interview to say they are not cool and they are not pals. Even further than that, when he actually was asked about Scump or the reason why he was kicked from that roster, he said a video is coming soon about that. So of course, when that drops, I will cover it here. But all in all, this AMA, first of all, on Reddit, we had a few people out there think maybe he gave a bit too much information. Maybe this is a bit immature. You know, for me, I like the kind of stuff. Obviously, I do cover it, but it definitely does make you look around this former OpTic roster in a very different way, as when Crimsix was announced to not be a part of the future NRG lineup or the LA OpTic lineup, we knew that something was wrong, right? Who ushered him out of that lineup? People thought Scump. You know, at first we thought it was Scump, then of course hints down the line thought maybe it was someone else, maybe it was the youngsters, TJ and Dashy, and now the eyes kind of go back towards Scump and the other guys as to who exactly wanted Crimsix gone. A video should be on that sometime soon, but he made sure to clarify he is not pals with them. He is out for a vengeance. Like he said in that Dallas Empire video, he is living up to that. He will never forget, but he will also never forgive, and those words apparently had some very much truth to them. And he also did respond on Reddit as well to say not to take this out of proportion, not to take the Scump and him drama out of proportion. He also said, though, very lastly, he's kind of sick of digging into it and trying to figure out the truth, who actually was the reason maybe why he was off that roster. And so he tells us not to take us out of proportion, but listen, sir, Crimsix, you know this, you guys know this as well. You are one of, if not by most eyes out there, the most legacied Call of Duty roster in the history of the game. So of course, when we find out the roster soon disbands, you've been together for years and years and years, and all of a sudden you're not friends anymore, of course we're going to look at this and probably take it out of proportion. The fact is this: you are one of the best, if not the most historied roster in Call of Duty history, and now you're not even friends with the guys you played alongside for so many years. Of course I'm going to take this out of proportion. I cannot wait for his video on that sometime, hopefully soon, to explain the situation, what he thinks is the reason why he's no longer going to be a part of either OpTic roster. I say that because NRG and obviously LA OpTic, and they're not really either of them OpTic, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I think even more interestingly, though, is actually the back half of this, where he does reveal some very personal information, apparently about some people out there being paid for the OpTic sale, and Crimsix was not one of them. Now, he clarifies, I want to clarify to all of you guys as well, he's not dumb, okay? He knows this, guys. He knows most players out there, if not a by far and away majority of players out there who play for an organization, they take a higher salary, or they take a salary because they don't have the risk involved when it comes to the equity or ownership of an organization. And thus, yes, 99% of players out there do not deserve any sort of payment when an organization sells its brand like OpTic or Hector did. Okay, that does make sense. Crimsix knows this, but he does very clearly state, though, that some people out there actually got paid for the sale of OpTic that did not deserve it, and that's what he's upset about. So let's clarify the situation there before people say, oh, Crimsix thinks he should be paid for the sale of OpTic. I don't think that's the case here. I think he's just very clearly upset that some people out there that did not deserve to be paid were paid. He also brings up OpTic J again, which brought in all the booers and all the haters, which is totally understandable at this point in time for what we seem to think that we know about that situation. And I've already talked about that multiple times here on this channel. But the fact that he took to Reddit to talk about the sale of OpTic and that some potential players, or at least members of OpTic, were actually paid for that sale, and Crimsix and Damon and those guys were not any of them, it brings up a very big question of who exactly was paid for the sale of OpTic besides Hector. I gotta know. I'll probably never know. But either way, Crimsix brought it up in a Reddit AMA. This dude is going all out in this drama right now. Whether you like it or not, I think it's really good for the Call of Duty scene. And I'll probably have a video on this sometime soon. We have seen so much drama so far around these OpTic boys. We got Scump thrown in there, Crimsix, Dashy. Now we have Censor. He's creating his own drama as well around his signing. I love it. I really do, and I think the scene needs it. But the fact is, this is very ironic, and closing points out there, Crimsix takes to a Reddit AMA to answer all your questions, and afterwards, we're left with more questions. Who was paid by the OpTic sale besides a guy like Hector? Who was? There were probably multiple members that apparently, according to Crimsix, did not deserve it. And also, secondly, and more importantly, why was the reason Crimsix was kicked? And thirdly, who was the reason behind it? Those weren't answered. He's now has so many open-ended questions out there that I am so curious about. And as always, I hope you guys all enjoy the breakdown of esports and gaming news. If you guys have a topic you want me to cover, make sure to comment it down below, and I will cover it as soon as possible. Thank you all for watching, guys. The OpTic and Crimsix drama does continue, and apparently him and Scump are no longer friends.